Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back. Today is Monday, June 23rd, 2025, and we're going to be reading the first half of the 7th chapter of the Acts of the Apostles, looking at verses 1 through 21. And we are going to follow the daily reading plan and break it up exactly in half, it looks like, because it goes to 43 for tomorrow. But today is 7 1 to 21. And it is Stephen addresses the council. As yesterday he was accused of and arrested by the council from people lying about him and what he was teaching. So then we pick it up here. Then the high priest asked Stephen, "Are these accusations true?" This was Stephen's reply: "Brothers and fathers, listen to me. Our glorious God appeared to our ancestor Abraham in Mesopotamia before he settled in Haran. God told him, 'Leave your native land and your relatives, and come into the land that I will show you.' So Abraham left the land of the Chaldeans and lived in Haran until his father died. Then God brought him here to the land where you now live. But God gave him no inheritance here, not even 1 square foot of land. God did promise, however, that eventually the whole land would belong to Abraham and his descendants, even though he had no children yet. God also told him that his descendants would live in a foreign land, where they would be oppressed as slaves for 400 years. But I will punish the nation that enslaves them, God said, and in the end, they will come out and worship me here in this place." God also gave Abraham the covenant of circumcision at that time. So when Abraham became the father of Isaac, he circumcised him on the 8th day. And the practice was continued when Isaac became the father of Jacob, and when Jacob became the father of the 12 patriarchs of the Israelite nation. These patriarchs were jealous of their brother Joseph, and they sold him to be a slave in Egypt. But God was with him and rescued him from all his troubles. And God gave him favor before Pharaoh, king of Egypt. God also gave Joseph unusual wisdom, so that Pharaoh appointed him governor over all of Egypt and put him in charge of the palace. But a famine came upon Egypt and Canaan. I always say that wrong. There was a great misery, and our ancestors ran out of food. Jacob heard that there was still grain in Egypt, so he sent his sons, our ancestors, to buy some. The second time they went, Joseph revealed his identity to his brothers, and they were introduced to Pharaoh. Then Joseph sent for his father, Jacob, and all his relatives to come to Egypt, 75 persons in all. So Jacob went to Egypt. He died there, as did our ancestors. Their bodies were taken to Shechem and buried in the tomb Abraham had bought for a certain prince from Hamar's sons in Shechem. Probably saying that wrong too, but it's okay. As the time drew near, when God would fulfill his promise to Abraham, the number of our people in Egypt greatly increased. But then a new king came to the throne of Egypt who knew nothing about Joseph. This king exploited our people and oppressed them, forcing parents to abandon their newborn babies so they would die. At that time, Moses was born, a beautiful child in God's eyes. His parents cared for him at home for 3 months. When they had to abandon him, Pharaoh's daughter adopted him and raised him as her own son. And since there is not a break in the story in 7, we're going to stop there as the daily reading calls, and we'll pick it up tomorrow and see where that leads with Moses. So one thing I will note, there is other books inside the Bible that give much more detail about Joseph and being given up and his sons selling him off into slavery. These are definitely just the high level bullet points. There is so much more to that story that it is very interesting. So with that, I will leave you for today. Wish you a good week. Lord willing, we'll be back tomorrow. God bless.